an advantageous power allotted to individuals who are considered attractive by a majority. What I've told you is the scientific version of what is pretty privilege. So today's episode is the final episode from this series. Don't worry, I'm going to be introducing my new series at the end of this. And so basically I spent the last pretty much 2 months. Can you believe it's already been 2 months? Okay. I've spent the last 2 months basically doing a series about the pros, the cons, different aspects of pretty privilege, also as well as featureism. Basically, there's certain commonalities that people find attractive: great teeth, great skin, almond eyes, longer limbs, slimmer build. Like, these are basically commonalities that all people are going to think this person's attractive if they have these different things. So I'm here to tell you, I still stand by what I said in episode 1. So what I said in episode 1, what I said in episode 1 is the fact that pretty privilege is like an underlying secret that no one talks about. It is the pretty privilege in the room with us. Like, basically, no one wants to talk about it, but you treat people completely different. Of course, you have the halo effect from psychology, about basically how certain positive sweet potatoes are done. Certain positive attributes there are certain positive attributes that are allotted to, okay, someone's good looking, they're a good person. And we've shown time and time again, my previous episode, definitely go stream that, about, Mary Kate Letourneau, Casey Anthony, different Amber Heard, different aspects of the fact that if you look good, people are going to associate that you have good qualities. But that's pretty much the summary of the last 10 episodes. I definitely had fun doing it, but I have my final 3 points that I want to make today. So we're going to go into the first one is, does pretty privilege exceed personality when it comes to dating? And I would say yes, because perfect example with Love is Blind. You guys have been watching. Hopefully you have. Love is Blind. But the previous season with Barstool, whatever they call him. The previous seasons with Bartise, he really showed me that the powers of pretty privilege. He really showed me it. So basically, rundown, since everybody watched the show, the rundown of it is basically that he found someone. Of course, once you heard that basically the concept of the show is that you can't see the person that you're dating. You can only fall in love with them by the personality. Right. So basically in the pods, basically where the science, we're in the pods, they are not allowed to see this person. They can only go by on aspects that they say. So I feel like he deduced that she was attractive because she's a yoga instructor, or at least that she's fit. Right. But he told her some life story, and she was just training for a marathon, She just started doing jumping jacks. So he was like, oh my gosh, she's so insensitive. I can't believe her. I'm done with her. Right. Cool. So he meets her in person. He's like, she's a smoke show. She's attractive. She's attractive. She has all these attributes going for her. And he immediately changed his whole mindset. He's like, she wasn't that mean, it was in the pods, she's a different person. He's trying to force himself. That's the power of pretty privilege. He's literally trying to force himself into being attracted to this person emotionally, because physically is what it'd be. He's just if we ever went out somewhere, it'd be an instant hit. Everybody would try to come up to me, or vice versa, this and other. And it's just crazy that while he's doing all this, his fiance to be, she's just in the background oh, okay, well, forget me, huh? She's in the background okay, so I'm just supposed to deal with this. But he that's why I said in the dating aspect, I really feel like this is something that, besides Love is Blind, reality TV, editing, but seriously, if you're only dating somebody when they deem you attractive, with season 6 as well, spoiler, with Clay and AD, Clay was very adamant about saying, oh, I do have a certain type. I just want you to describe yourself. I would just describe it. I was I'm 6'3" with a mustache. That's how I would describe myself, and see if he still likes me after. But I'm very petty. That. But I just feel to wrap that point up is just the fact that there's so many times where I've seen divorce, I've seen relationships, and I was because you're not emotionally compatible with this person. You're not emotionally compatible with this person. So conversations don't flow. They're hard. It's hard to talk to this person. Your sense of humors are off. And then your beliefs are off as well. So just in that aspect, I still feel like this is a very, very consistent point that needs to be made, and you guys need to listen up and really not miss out on a great person. I wanted to bring this up really quick and briefly because I can sit there and say, like, I'm still not really 100% on the topic of eugenics, because from what I thought eugenics was the, sorry. Okay. I thought eugenics was basically you're purposely breeding, like you're intentionally breeding, so they can have certain physical attributes that are deemed more responsible, but deemed more attractive. But what it really is, from what I've researched, like I said, this is not my forte. I have a degree in psychology. I work in accounting for the last decade. Don't do that math too quick, but I can sit there and tell you, like, I'm still kind of confused on the topic, because on one aspect I thought it was phenotypical, but other people say it's like societal class. So if you know specifically and you major or minored in it, definitely educate me in the comments. But I do believe in eugenics, because in the aspect of how I determine it. Eugenics is when you're purposely going after somebody because they have an attribute that you want to see in your kids. That's how I see eugenics, okay? If we got to make up a new word, we got to make up eugenics, okay? We'll make up a new word today. But that's how I see it, because my thing is, there's literally people out there, in the Black community. It's Black History Month, so I'm gonna tread lightly, because I'm not trying to come for us during this month. But in the Black community, there's been plenty of times where they purposely go after a certain skin tone, certain features, certain eye colors, so they can have the kid have that. But what has happened in the past, like I have an example of a YouTuber, defamation, I can't say her name, but there was a YouTuber who, the baby just got born, right? The baby was just born. Oh my God, I love my baby, da-da-da. And she has green eyes, and like the father is Black, and she's green eyes, like she's like mixed, I believe, or something. Either way, she has green eyes. So the first thing she said, she's holding the baby, and she's like, oh my God, where are my green eyes? How come I don't see them? And a lot of people say, oh, this is just innocent. This is just her, people want their kid to look a certain type of way. That's a big difference of like, okay, well, I want to see if the baby's going to be tall. That's what I would do, because I'm tall, but you're looking for them to have green eyes. Same thing with Rihanna. I'm gonna make sure I'm saying it right. With her kid, like her two children, like people are just like, where are the green eyes at? I was like, you're not saying where's that, like, oh my God, this baby's beautiful. They're so cute. I just want to go like this. They're like, it's just the fact that people are looking for these type of even with Jason Derulo and his girl, like people are like, oh, how come your son doesn't have her blue eyes? Like, this is what I mean. This is what I consider eugenics. It's basically like you're purposely going after the person, and then in the YouTuber's aspect, you're disappointed because this person doesn't have this characteristic, because what? Pretty privilege. The importance of pretty privilege. I also have on here, like I have a friend, and her mom is white and her dad is Black, and her hair texture is 4C. And it's not 4B, like with a little bit 4C, it's pure 4C. It's pure 4C hair, and she's very light. And I just remember her telling me, of course I'm not going to go into the details, but I just remember her telling me like about how like her mom was so disappointed that she had to actually learn how to do her hair. Like she was disappointed that she didn't know how to do the different hair styles. Of course, she's an amazing hairstylist. Like she knows how to do hair, because she's like, we're going to get this hair. I was like, I know that's right, period. But just in passing, like, I just get frustrated with that, because like you guys are purposely breeding. Like you're not even thinking about this kid, because the way I see it, if you're purposely breeding to have your kid to have a certain type of phenotype, I feel like you're still not done doing your hard work. So guess what? This kid's going to be an embodiment of what you will parentheses never be. Right. So I don't know. In that aspect, I truly feel like people do that on purpose, and not saying that you can't, like the main underlying sentence is that I'm not saying that you shouldn't be attracted to the person you're with. Like this is going to be a very long marriage. Okay. But I do feel like you guys purposely, like I know some men, like they won't even talk to a girl if she is dark. Like they won't even look back to see, like they won't even talk to a girl if she's dark. Of course, I live in the South, there's certain Black women that they like, you know their type. I'm not saying all of them, okay? But I'm just saying, like, they won't even talk to the girl. Like, they won't even, your wife, you could have walked past your wife 3 times or vice versa. You know, with some certain women who think that, you know, light skin is more feminine, like, you could have walked past your husband, you know? So like I said, I'll leave my point there, but I'm just saying what I've seen. So my other point as well is pretty privilege in everyday situations. And the first thing I'm going to do is work with pretty privilege. And I feel like in the work aspect, I'll just be very vague because I like my check. I do feel like there are certain jobs that will hire you because you're attractive. Doesn't matter about your work. Doesn't matter about your work. Doesn't matter about your credentials. Doesn't matter about who you're related to. You're attractive. You are income. Okay, because more investors are more likely to invest in you if the staff is attractive, and then you'll get people to listen now for longer. So you're gonna listen to me sell you. Where did this accent came from? You'll listen to me sell you about these flowers because I'm attractive compared to someone who's not. There's a reason why they always make sure the front desk or receptionist is a baddie. Okay. And regardless of skills or no skills, not saying that's to denigrate their character, but I'm just letting you know, like, there's like, I've gone to certain deal strips. I was just like, see what you guys are doing. It's the first face you see. It's the last face you see. So like I said, you know, the science behind pretty privilege as well is that you get a shot of serotonin the moment you see somebody who's attractive. So you get that shot of serotonin, you get that feel good hormone. So now you're just like, okay, so I'll definitely buy a car. I'll buy this house. I'll buy her, you know. But please take that as a joke. Don't run with that, because I know y'all are real sensitive nowadays. But I'm just saying the fact that in that aspect, like the work situation, like it's really like if you're not attractive, like I've worked in retail before, and literally like my boss saw how the person like got their resume and threw it in the trash as soon as they turned around because they weren't attractive. So definitely for sure in the workplace. We're going to talk about the advantages and the disadvantages of pretty privilege, you know, just a summary of everything. So we're going to end on a positive note. We're going to do the disadvantages. None. Just playing. Honestly, just from my personal experience, like one of the disadvantages of pretty privilege is definitely friends. Like everybody, no one wants to say it. No one wants to say it. No one wants to talk about it, but there is a level of competition when it comes to your friends. And me personally, like I have a requirement for you to be my friend. You need to be confident. You need to be confident. I'm not saying every day you gotta wake up beautiful, but you need to be confident because I'm gonna hype you up and I'm not gonna sit there and let you disrespect my friend. You know, like I'm not gonna be sitting here. I'm like, hey, girl, I feel like Kyle. I was like, no, you don't. You look good. Da, 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 da. Especially if, you know, it's one of those off days, not toxic positivity where I'm just saying it just to say it, but like I truly mean it. Like I want all women to win. However, I can't deal with an insecure friend. I did that in my 20s and it was miserable. Like it's literally like you're doing emotional management. Okay. You're the emotional manager for the day. So I can definitely say like friends wise, I would say that's the biggest the biggest disadvantage of having pretty privilege is friend wise. It's going to be very hard for you to maintain friends. It's going to be hard for you to not have a friend who is in secret competition with you as well. And it's also going to be hard for you to not have a friend who's almost more on the, stalker side, you know, someone who's going to follow your every move. So definitely for sure, that's like the biggest disadvantage. The biggest advantage is everything. Like I had to make a pause for that because you literally don't understand it until you have it. Like I've had both aspects. Like I said, like before, like I've always been tall and skinny, but I was weird. Like some of the features did not, like some of the features didn't like settle on my face yet. So during the meantime, I was being weird. I'm into Harry Potter. I'm into like these different goofy little things. You know, I cosplay before it was cool. But it's just like, the biggest advantage of pretty privilege is everything. Like it literally affects every aspect of your life. Parking tickets, entries to clubs, like, and then like one of the biggest things too is like, I think that's too why like I have a different level of disrespect towards men. I have a different level because I've seen them at their worst. Like most women are just like, oh my God, how come you don't tolerate certain things with men? Because I've seen them at their worst. I've seen men, babies in stroller, try to holler. My boss, not my boss, but I miss like bosses in the past try to holler. I've seen it before. Like these men, like when you're an attractive woman, they do not, the rules are out the window. They don't exist, and new rules have now taken in place. So when you sit there and say, oh my God, he could never, he hasn't come across an attractive woman yet. I promise you that. All right. He has not come across an attractive woman yet. They like the different things they go through. So anyways, we are going to be introducing, just real quick, going to be introducing my new series. It's going to be DSM. So it's a play off of the diastasis stress model for psychological disorders. I cannot say it. Dionysus. So my version is going to be DSM, and it's going to be disorders of social media. So my first episode is going to be TAS, and that is toxic attention syndrome. And we will be releasing a series next week. So don't forget to subscribe, share, stay tuned. It's Claire Haire.